Hey, good evening. My name is Michael. This is
Jeremy.
And we're CWEEDS, Christ's Way of Evangelism and Encouraging Disciples to Service. And we'd like to go ahead and share with you some of our experiences today. Actually, what I'd like to do is, I was just thinking about it just before we getting ready to record, and I'd like to share with you an experience that I actually had as a little kid back in North Carolina. We used to live in North Carolina. We had woods that came right up to the back of our yard, okay? And I spent a lot of time as a little kid running through those woods, all right? I love the woods. I love playing around the trees, the creeks, turning over dead logs, looking for salamanders, whatever I could do. It was always a good time for me in the woods. Well, back in the woods, there was a one-room log cabin. And we'd always heard that, you know, a crazy guy lived back in that cabin, you know, some, you know, little hermit that ate kids kind of thing, you know. And anyways, I was down there with some friends one day, and he was walking along a trail not very far from his house. And we had actually gone down there with the intention of trying to make contact, okay? And so I remember we had a dollar bill, us kids, we scrounged together, we got a dollar bill and a Snickers candy bar. And it was, he was an old black man that lived there, and his name was Kiyomi, right? And somehow I got drafted to hand the guy the candy bar and the dollar, and I was afraid, man. I had pictures of this guy grabbing me by the arm and holding me hostage and all that. So I put the candy bar and the dollar bill down on the ground and backed up. And he came and he got them, and I think we just said a couple of words. That was about it. But what that did was that was an open door for me, and I actually, out of us kids that were there, I was the only one that went back and continued contact with that man. And he would make, he'd fry up this bread and pan bread, and we'd sit there and eat that bread inside of his cabin. And he was a nice guy. He didn't bother anybody. But I remember one day I went to visit him, and keep in mind, this was a one-room log cabin in the woods. He did have a gas stove. He had a fireplace. He had, I remember, a wardrobe, a bed. He had a television and a gun. And I went to visit him this one day, and he was telling me somebody had actually broke into his place and stole his television and his gun. And that really stuck with me. I was really thinking, why would somebody do that with somebody who obviously had so little and was minding his own business, you know? And obviously I never really got a good answer on why somebody would do that. But what that made me think about today was how, you know, there are these people who are kind of like marginalized. They're on the side of, you know, on the outskirts of society, and people often don't treat them with the respect and dignity that we otherwise treat one another. And it's sad that that happens. And I don't really know what a solution is as far as some kind of grand scale, but I know that definitely we did not see our Savior Jesus treating people like that. You know, it didn't matter what their position was in life, high or low, rich or poor, sober or not sober, it didn't matter. Jesus always had a way of treating people with the dignity that He gave, that He intended people to have as human beings. Human beings created in His own image, and He always kept that in the forefront of His mind. And that's something that I always try to do too, because honestly sometimes I come down here and there's some nasty ones. I don't want to shake their hand. I don't want to spend the time to talk with them because they're gross, you know, but that's not Christ-like. And our desire when we're down here is to always have that be first and foremost of treating people in a Christ-like manner. So I guess that'll be my message for today. I did have some experiences, but maybe I'll share them for some other time and hand it over to Jeremy here.
Kind of verse that came to my mind when you say that is, you know, the verse that talks about the first will be last and the last will be first, you know, and that's kind of, you know, we need to put other people before ourselves. But yeah, and today, for me, it's kind of tough this week. A lot of people that I go to visit in some of the same areas that I've visited for a couple of years now, the people are getting less and less this winter. When I first started off in the past, I could come down here with about 30 pairs of socks and go through them pretty quickly, and still could have had more to pass out, and it seems to be getting less. I don't know if things are still transient or what the case. Usually it starts settling down and people that are going to be in the cold will just stay here. And you know, one of the things that Jesus did is he got to know people before he would share the word with them and things like that. You know, he would make contacts and become friends with them. And you know, so one of the first things, you don't want to really walk up to somebody and just throw the Bible at them in their face when they don't know anything about you and you don't know anything about them. And so it's kind of a tough day for me. Down at KCRM, I mean, the faces are changing weekly. I got my couple of contacts that you know, that always talk with and things like that. But other than that, it's changing so much right now that I'm not recognizing faces and I don't remember names because I don't know the people. And so prayers that you know, that we can make some contacts with new people, people that don't know the Lord and are receptive and willing to get to know Him. But I did run into a guy up by the car wash that I haven't seen in a long time. His name was Chance, and asked him how he was doing. He seemed to be pretty good.
That's a chance encounter.
Yep, chance encounter with Chance.
Hey.
And he seemed to be doing well, and he was just sitting there, and honestly, I kind of envy it a little bit because my life's a little more busy, obviously, than his, and how he's just getting time to just sit there and meditate with God, he said, and think about things that are going on in his life and what God's trying to speak to him about. And it was just kind of nice to sit there and hear him say that, I guess, you know, that he's actually taking the time out to do that. And it's nice to be able to have the time to do that, you know. I do have time with the Lord. Mine seems to be a little more on the go. I don't get a lot of peaceful time like he would. But that's kind of my own fault, the way my life's led me at this point, which, you know, one day will get better. Yeah. But other than that, you know, don't really have anything that stood out today.
I do actually have a little bit of good news I'd like to share. We're over here. What bridge is this right here, Jeremy? You know?
I believe it is 670. Yeah.
Okay, we're right under the 670 bridge that goes right into Kansas City, and underneath this bridge, over to our right, your left, was a guy who was standing underneath the bridge, and I've talked to him a number of different times, and I found out just today that he got off alcohol and moved up to Wyoming and got a job up there.
Okay.
So, no, a guy named Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's another one that lives over on the hillside.
Not that Johnny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, I just thank the Lord to hear about that good news. And as always, we ask that you guys would keep us in your prayers, and also we're looking for support to be able to launch a full-time missionary down here. We're still looking for that. And one of the things that I was thinking about just as we were here talking, when we first got down here, one of the things we did a lot was go under the bridges, in the bushes and all that. And I'm actually noticing a number of places where people are starting to accumulate. It might be time to start looking at that again, getting there, getting under the bushes. I think maybe we kind of got a routine, and our routine,
outside our
yeah. And what happens a lot of times, just as Jeremy was indicating, is people here are very transient. Where they stay is also changes a lot. So where we might find somebody some week, within a couple weeks they might be completely gone. I was visiting some folks down at one park, and I'd been there a number of times. The last 2 weeks they haven't been there. And so I'm going to have to either look for them, or sometimes, you know, they're just gone. We have to start looking for new people. So it's always something. We're always on the move down here, always looking for folks. So we always need prayer. God bless you guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Also, prayers for a lady named Emma that I've been doing a Bible study with. Stopped by to do the Bible study with her today, and her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend answered the door, and she has apparently got a spider bite and not feeling well, and been down for a day or so. So prayers for recovery on Emma there. All
right, so thanks for checking us out. We'd appreciate it if you share our video on your Facebook link. God bless you guys, and see you next week. Bye.